Welcome to the Life and Letters of Paul. I'm so glad that you guys are all in this class. I wanted to take a minute to walk you through how I've laid out our Blackboard site. One of the first things that you'll see is your enrollment verification activity. So you can see right now that I'm in Life and Letters of Paul. I've put myself in student preview so that what I click on will be what you also see. So for the enrollment verification activity, you have to do that so that you don't get dropped out of the class. So do that first, get that out of the way just to ensure that you don't get withdrawn. The next thing I want us to look at quickly is the syllabus. So you'll see that right here. I've made it into a PDF so it jumps right up for you. This course simply studies Paul's life as presented in his epistles and a little bit of Acts. So we'll jump back and forth between those two things. You have several required textbooks. You've got Longenecker and Still. That's our primary textbook. I've got a couple of them sitting right here, but I didn't prepare to have all of them. So that's this one. I've linked to it on our Blackboard page. You can actually see it right over here, Thinking Through Paul. This is our primary textbook. You will need to get your hands on that first thing, so you need this right away. The next book is this Navigating Paul book. I've got that right here. And that one we will cover when we get to a different section, but just you need to buy that book. And then finally, this book called When in Romans. And I've got it right here. Hold on. When in Romans, it's fairly affordable. Both of these are pretty affordable. So the Thinking Through Paul book will be probably your big spending. You'll be a big spender there. So those are the books that you need right here. Longenecker and Still, Bassler, Gaventa, and then I'll have several readings posted that you will also complete throughout the semester. Some course objectives, mainly we want you to understand the life of Paul, his journeys to these different locales, and then also how he conducts his ministry and the literature. This is the primary focus, the literature that he created. So what letters did he write, into whom, and what occasions the letter, and what kind of rhetorical moves does he make when he's writing the letter. And hopefully, by the time you get to the end of this course, you will be able to articulate that fairly well, whether in ministry or in a classroom or wherever you might find yourself, maybe at Thanksgiving dinner or something. But I do hope that this will be, I know that most of you are involved in ministry, and I hope that this course will be so helpful for you in figuring out how to deal with this big section of biblical literature, all of Paul's letters, in your ministries. Let's see here, course methodology. There will be Blackboard lectures that I will post as YouTube videos, and you're required to watch those. You also will have assigned readings that you complete for every unit, and you'll want to complete those. And then I'll evaluate you by quizzes. Every week we'll have, not every week, every unit we'll have a 10-question quiz related to the reading. And then a little later on, we're going to start doing reading responses. Those are page-long reading responses, examinations, presentations, and a research paper. So all of those things are things that we are going to do. Your requirements include class participation. That's mainly through these quick interactions that I've set up and our discussion boards. Then quizzes, of course. You'll have online quizzes to take. And then we're going to do these reading responses when we get a little bit further into the course related to the book of Romans, because that tends to be people's favorite book. Then you're going to lead a discussion, and you're going to create your own PowerPoint, videotape yourself, and then upload it to our Blackboard site. And then the final thing is an exegetical paper. So what I'm going to have you do for this course is you are going to come up with either a topic or a passage that you want to study in depth, and you will create an 8-page minimum, so 8 to 10-page research paper on that topic or that passage of scripture. And you will also, for this research paper, create a presentation that you will upload so that we can all be let in. So not just me, not just I learn from what you have learned in your research paper, but also the whole class. You'll notice that I have a lot of stipulations for the things that you need to do. I want you to look at 5 commentaries, 2 articles. I also want you to look at course textbooks and other library resources that are available to you. So you need a lot of good source material. And then finally, you will have 2 examinations. They'll both be essay questions. And so you'll have a midterm coming up. I think it's due around the 28th of February. And hey, by the way, it's a leap year. So get excited. The 28th of February is not the end of February. Huzzah. But you'll have a midterm and then you'll have a final exam. Here is the breakdown of how your grades go in. Everything's weighted. So participation, meaning like discussion boards and reading responses, are worth 10%. Your quizzes are worth 10%. Your midterm is worth 20%. Look at that big chunk. Your research paper is worth 30%. Your presentations, you got 2 of those, are worth 10, and then your final exam is worth 20. So all of those scooshed together will bring about your grade. And I want you to be very cognizant of the fact that I am using a 7-point grading scale, which means that your cutoff for an A, if you need an A, you need to stay above a 93. If you need a B, you need to stay above, an 85, so on and so forth. I don't like it when there's late work. It irritates me, but I will accept it, even though I say it's unacceptable. I don't know. It is unacceptable as in don't do it, but I'll accept it and take off 5% per calendar day that it's late. But the maximum penalty for your overall grade that I'm willing to dish out for late work is 30%. And so even if you procrastinate and you're a terrible person and I'm so irritated with you, you should still turn in the assignment if you can, because I will cap the amount that it can affect your overall grade at 30%. Here I've got a little academic honesty thing. I don't want you cheating on your quizzes. I don't want you plagiarizing in your paper. And so take a minute to read through all of this. And yeah, you might want to even watch this little or read this little pamphlet to kind of figure out what plagiarism is. That's important stuff. If you have disabilities and you need some accommodations, please let me know. I believe the University Writing Center is available even to the online students, so that is a great resource. Classroom comportment, meaning online comportment. Hey, we're all in this together, and we need to be respectful of one another. There are going to be some things that come up through the course of this class that are going to make you think, oh my gosh, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard. But we need to all be genuinely Christ-like in our interactions. So let's work on that. And let's not only be courteous in our interactions, but also be thoughtful. It's so easy when you get onto a discussion board to be like, oh, I like what you say there, and then just move on. If you don't like what someone has said, figure out a nice way to say that you think they're wrong. That is a totally fine thing to do. Let's see. And then finally, professor-student conduct. Best way to get me is through email. But if you have some sort of an emergency, let's say that you're like, I don't know, well, even that would be, so if you are struggling to upload something and you're like, I just can't get it done, still best thing to do is email. If the day before the midterm, you have a death in the family and you need just a little bit longer to get it completed, that would be a good time to text me. So text if you've got that kind of an emergency. That is your syllabus and the breakdown for your syllabus. And next, I'll go over the projected course schedule with you. So after you've looked at the syllabus and committed the whole thing to memory, I want you to come back over here to our course overview. And right below the syllabus is where you will find everything that you need for this course, for the most part. In here, we've got unit assignments. And you'll see that I've broken down your unit assignments. Well, I've broken them down by date. So our first unit, Unit 1, January 8th through 17th, has certain things in it. Your reading, you're going to want to read Thinking Through chapters 1 and 2, Thinking Through, and then you'll want a Bible that you can read parts of Acts and 1st and 2nd Thessalonians. So you'll want to read all of those fun things. Then you've got a quiz, and it's a 10-question quiz, and you have 10 minutes to complete it. You can use your book, you can use the Bible, and you can use reading notes. But you need to keep in mind that you've got a minute per question. So don't lollygag or anything. Then in each unit, I'm going, well, yeah, I think probably in each unit, at least units 1 through 5, I'll have these quick interactions for you, and I'll show you a little bit more about that later. And the prompt, you need to respond to it in 2 to 3 sentences, and you can also interact with others. Then you'll see here, right below that, that I've got my own lectures that I've uploaded for you. You can listen to those and then complete the discussion associated with it. So you see we've got a couple of different lectures and then another discussion board and then more lectures. So all of that is due by January 17th at midnight. All of this, January 17th at 11:59. You want to get it in before midnight. So at least start uploading things by 11:50 or something like that. But that's how these first units will look. So I'm going to toggle back here to our unit assignments folder. You'll remember that when we were in course overview, I clicked onto unit assignments and I clicked into unit 1. Now right here, I've got some instructions for how you can successfully complete units 1 through 5. Units 1 through 5, right here, are kind of our bread and butter of the class, where you'll get a lecture from me, you'll have a discussion board, it'll be basically what you're used to, and maybe a more introductory class. By the time we get to Unit 6, down here, I write here that we're going to do a new seminar style as we revisit Romans. And so things are going to change a little bit on March 16th, right after spring break. And here, you'll notice that I write, we've got a seminar style format. In this unit, you will be responsible to write 2 reading responses. One for When in Romans, that was one of your books that's required, and one for a chapter PDF that I'll post. You're also going to create discussion questions associated with your reading response, and then you can engage with the discussion. So reading response is right here, and it says a successful reading response will engage the assigned readings through a brief 3-sentence summary followed by several paragraphs of critical analysis. The reading response should be between 1 and 2 pages, double-spaced. So what this is going to look like, as you click through here, I want you to sign up once to be student A and once to be student B, because I want you to complete a chapter from When in Romans, and I want you to complete a chapter from Cultures. We've got 7 students in this class, and so I will fill in one of these blanks, but each one of you does need to complete a When in Romans, and a Cultures reading. And so the way that you're going to do that is by clicking on Edit Wiki Content, and it's going to come up, and let's say that Allison Cabe wants to do When in Romans, pages 23 through 46. So she'll simply write her last name here and then hit Submit. Now, I'm not going to do that because I don't know if she wants to actually do When in Romans, chapter pages 23 through 46, but that's something that would be available. So that is how you will sign up for things. You'll click on Edit Wiki Content. I think I'll go back over that, but that's how Unit 6 is going to go. So it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to create a space for you to upload your paper, and you'll see that it's due March 16th, and then I'm going to create a space for you to enter your discussion questions. So right after spring break, things will change a little bit. You won't have lectures from me any longer. I don't think you're going to have quizzes either, but I have to think about that a little bit more. I'm going to toggle all the way back to course overview because I don't know how to get back there this way. And I'm going to go to unit assignments again. So you'll see that Unit 6 is about what you're used to, about a 10, 11-day unit. And then Unit 7 is really long. And this is where we discuss Pauline theology. And this is where you will, for the first time, complete a presentation. So you can see here, I've got another wiki set up. And March 30th, April 1st, April 3rd, so on and so forth. This whole unit covers these dates. And you need to go in and decide what topic of Pauline theology you want to cover. For the first part of this unit, we will be looking at Navigating Paul, the Bassler book. And so you can see right here, Navigating, pages 1 through 10, we'll talk about Paul's view of grace. And so again, I'm going to go in here. And let's say that Allison Cabe wants to do Pauline Theology Grace. She will go in here and write Cabe and then hit Submit. You need to sign up for one of these, and again, I'll fill in the blanks where we don't have enough students. But we've got some pretty interesting things to cover. And I'll give you more information on what's required in your presentation and how to upload a video to Blackboard. But what I want you to do soon-ish, if you can, is sign up for the area of theology that you want. And I've associated reading that you will complete for each of these. So it's not like you're going out and trying to research a topic yourself, but I have the reading that you're supposed to do with that. All right, let's see here. So now I am going to go back to course overview again. Unit assignments. We've got one final unit left, and that is April 22nd through 29th. We are going to have student paper presentations. So we'll have 2 students a day submit their paper presentations on April 24th, April 27th, and April 29th. And that way it'll give us space to interact with these students. If we've got 2 paper presentations on the 24th, we can interact a little bit. Then on the 27th, unfortunately, it's a quick turnaround on the 29th, but that's all we've got. So again, I've got, for the most part, 2 spaces for students to sign up, and you can decide where you want your paper presentation to be. All right, let's see here. Let's go back to the course overview. Unit assignments. And I want you to look over this and keep in mind that units 1 through 5 are your regulars, where I give you lectures and then we do discussion boards. And then unit 6 is different because you're going to be doing reading responses within unit 6. Unit 7 is different because you're going to be doing student presentations within unit 7. And then unit 8 is your final unit where you present your own research paper. Let me know if you have any questions about that. I would be happy to answer anything that you have. I think that is all that I want to share with you as far as how this course works. You will find, let me show you this one thing. In here, I'm going to organize this better, but I do have quite a few supplemental readings. If you want to click through some of these, and some of them are just websites that are helpful. we aren't actually going to do extra credit with all of that. But these can be helpful readings that can supplement your learning if you're interested in doing that. Or you might want to use some of these to fill out your paper topic. I don't know. I think that is it as far as our Blackboard site goes. As soon as you've all finished your enrollment verification activity, I'll remove this from the top and have unit assignments ready for you, because really this is going to be the place where you live in working through all of these. So again, for this first week, January 8th through 17th, or this first unit, all of this is due by 11:59 on January 17th. All right, best of luck.